challenge you overcame as a child that you may have seen right now that kind of formed you and shaped you. So I want you to think about that for a second. We've answered this question before on the show, but as a child, you know, we go through many, many different things, and we don't sometimes go back and take a look at what we really overcame to kind of shape us and form us. So I'm going to go to you, Aaron, first. What do you got for me? A challenge you overcame as a child.
I'm actually being more drawn towards inner teen, like teenage sort of years, and balancing myself as a multidimensional person with that's like hyper creative and so many different interests, and just feeling overwhelmed with how I wanted to express myself, or overwhelmed with what ideas I wanted to nurture and bring into fruition, or even feeling like it's impossible to embody these multiple lanes of soul expression. And just now, really, this year, being able to hold all of it and honor all of it and see how it's all interconnected. And I think this is a very common star seed or like indigo child trait, and of just feeling all of this multidimensional creative expression. And so yeah, overcoming that and not feeling overwhelmed by it, allowing me to express myself in all of the different ways and not compartmentalizing myself, and just being in that multidimensional flow.
Yeah, very
Yeah.
nice. I love it. Let's go to Atea next. Something as a child you overcame and you feel like it shaped you.
Um, yeah, mine's a bit more practical. My mom got very sick when I was in my teens, and I found myself kind of like having to navigate my life, school, taking care of my mom. My father at the time wasn't at home, he was traveling for work. So I think looking back, that really shaped me in a way of seeing the humanity within my family nucleus and within my parents as well, because, you know, we grow up with this thing that your parents, well, I mean, if you have like a beautiful childhood like I did, I have a beautiful childhood growing up, your parents can be your heroes, but then there comes a point in life, and for most people I think it's more towards adulthood, it shouldn't be when you are still like a young teen, that that idea crumbles and you're like, actually they're just humans, you know, navigating their own experience and their own humanity, and they can, you know, leave at any point. So I think that really yeah, to an extent shaped me. It made me understand how strong I was as an individual, especially because I came from a few years before that where I much like Aaron was explaining, I started having psychic vision and intuition from a very young age. Like I was that kid that couldn't go to sleep because she was seeing like shadows and ghosts and things, you know, in the room coming and going, but no one believed me. So that was kind of, you know, now that I'm a psychic for a living, they're like, oh, we're so sorry. And I'm like, yeah, guys, like it was really
A little
happening, you
late.
know? Sorry, you know. So I guess that for me is the first thing that comes to me that shaped me as an individual, made me understand a lot of things about myself and how powerful I was and how I could navigate things, and yeah, and it made me tap into an unconditional love space to, you know, be there for my parent and for my family.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate it. That's a great one. Flo, something you overcame as a child.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, many things, but one in particular, I was the youngest of three, had a middle brother and older sister. And my brother, he took a lot of his anger and frustration out on me when I was young. So I kind of like always thought I was doing something wrong, even though I was a bright light. And it took me a long time to heal that actually. And how I healed it personally was as I was growing up in my 20s, I was invited to hands-on healing teachings, which was, it was actually the original teachings of Jesus and how he would heal people. And I was taught by a 93-year-old man who was super tapped into the Akash. So when I went on the table one day to receive the healing, I was taken to a past life where I saw a negative individual who was like almost living in like a cave. It felt like the Stone Ages, and he was very depressed and sad. And I realized that person who I once was my brother in this lifetime. And I had tears coming down my eye when I had that healing, because I carried so much resentment towards my brother. And he was just a reflection of some part of me on the soul journey. And it definitely opened up a lot of wells of compassion in me that I try to carry forth now to this day. I really feel compassion is the true intelligence, because compassion goes beyond the surface. It goes beyond the surface into the depths. And rather than a simple reaction like, hey, this person's pissing me off, there's a deeper awareness on why that person is doing this, and perhaps their journey that is covered in hurt. So it brought a lot of compassion to me and my brother, and we started to heal together. And now we have a great relationship.
Wow, that was a goosebump moment. That was great. Wow. Thank you for sharing that, and powerful.
Thank you.
I'm sure the audience enjoyed it as well. As far as, it's amazing when we can tap into those points of ourselves, the things we've been through, and the relations to each other, right? Of our own childhoods and things that we've been through, and the traumas and how we got through them and stuff, and where we went to find help, and then where it took us because we went there, right? So it's all part of a path. It's all part of a journey to bring us to where we're going to be and who we're going to be. So amazing stuff there. I loved all of that stuff.
Thank you.